Another episode of Double Barrel Shotgun. Eve, what you have to say to the people?
How you living, folks? It's all good in this nice cold. But bang, bang, we are here.
Yeah, I want to get took. Let's do this. So we're gonna recap last week's picks once again. You know, I'm your co-host Brian. This is your co-host Eve. This is Double Barrel Shotgun, folks, and we're not past. We're obviously into the second half of the season.
All time.
Yeah, exactly. It's been a long season. We're gonna do a recap of last week's pick. So let's get quickly into it. Let's get the one that was the worst game of the three: Packers, Eagles in Lambeau. I must have been drinking or smoking something to think that I will take Sanchez in Lambeau. I want to think about it now, but to be honest with you, I don't even think Sanchez played that bad. That defense was atrocious. Well, the defense was getting run up and down the field. Before he blinked, it was like 21-0.
I hear you, but
at that point,
I think he was concussed after the first sack he took because he took some hellacious lifts.
Well, the offensive line's a little suspect too. Obviously Foles is already hurt. That offensive line's got some questions on it. But
yeah, man.
They want Jordy Nelson's out there. Like really, what
Jordy Nelson's a bad. With Rodgers, he'll make anybody look good. But Jordy Nelson, boy.
But you gotta cover a man.
True, but
jeez,
but it's like we've been saying that all season long. Of like, how come Jordy Nelson's always open?
No, I'm not saying Jordy Nelson can't ball. He can ball, but my point is, if you're coming to the game, you might want to mark that dude down.
You think?
You think? Maybe you might consider that.
Yeah.
It's like
that was
this receiver beat us, and the first thing you do in the first 10 minutes, that receiver beat you.
True.
Like, I don't get that, man. Anyways, man, I don't even know. Is there anything to waste time on this game? Anything to talk about?
Nope.
Packers look good again. I did give them their due against Chicago because I thought Chicago just rolled over, but they kind of show improved this week. So I give them the due. Rodgers is on fire right now, and they're in a good groove.
And I think Julius Peppers has really played a big difference on that team on defensively, and also as well they have now Matthews playing on the inside, which gives it another good wrinkle. That helps them out, I think, a great deal. But Julius Peppers has been a real good addition for that team.
For real. So let's move into game number 2. Game number 2, we had Arizona, the 4 o'clock game, Arizona-Detroit in Arizona. This was a slugfest. It wasn't I didn't find it as an attractive game to watch. The defense definitely carried the day on this one for Arizona. The defense is a closing type of defense. Like if they get a lead up on you, like 7 points or so, will go in the fourth. They're pretty stingy with it, man. I was impressed with what I saw with them. Peterson probably had one of his best games of the season.
You know what? I think Peterson.
I know you're there, but you gotta give you gotta give.
No, he played good. Listen, he played good against Calvin.
Yeah,
I'm not disputing that. I just don't. But he gets beat a lot.
Well, you know what?
He ain't prime time. He's not.
Every top dude's gonna get. If you play aggressive, you can get your shots, especially in this league.
But he doesn't play aggressive, and he still gets beat.
Well, fair enough. But I gotta give his due. He had a great game, man.
He had a great game, but you know what? Though I think that the secondary had a great game, and as you said, the defense of the Cardinals, very good.
I heard someone on ESPN talk about him as potential defensive player of the year.
Heck no.
I was like, ooh, it might be
that's ESPN.
Bridge too far on that one. But.
Anyway, ESPN. That's all you have to just say on that. So the thing about
Shots
it is
fired on the 4-letter network.
Hey, I respect it to a point, but they say some crazy stuff out there.
But
the thing about it is that the Cardinals, offensively, that's gonna be an issue because Stanton. He threw some bad picks too.
Yes.
So the fact about it is that game was a lot closer than it should have been because Detroit wasn't really doing anything all game offensively. No. So technically, they could have. But
Detroit's offense looked like that pretty much for most of the season.
And that's a surprising thing but the thing about it is just if they didn't involve Golden Tate, and Golden Tate has been fine for them when Calvin was out. And I think they only passed the ball to him. They targeted him only 5 times, and he only got 2 balls.
Well,
and this is the guy that's been balling for you all season long. Also, because Calvin's back, you forgot.
Well, Stafford. Once he gets locked into his favorite toy, he's not.
Yeah, they got to change that. I think that, but they got to change that.
Is
soon.
that them having to change that, or is that the habit Stafford has as a security blanket? that's a different story.
I
Because when you're doing your reads, Megatron may not always be the first read,
True,
but he's
and
looking
that's the
for
thing.
him. He's pretty much saying, yeah, I'll go through the motions. Oh, there's Tate. Oh, Megatron. He's just moving off on that real quick.
Well, I mean, the offense will move a lot better when you start listening. They always say, "Listen, I go to the guy that's open."
Well, that's true.
That's who you should be doing it with. Don't get me wrong. Of course, Megatron's always going to try to be your first option. But if the guy's getting double, triple teamed, and you got a one-on-one with your wide receiver like Golden Tate, who's been really playing well for you all season when Calvin hasn't been there, you gotta give him the ball too.
Detroit looks like, to take a car analogy. I know it's Detroit, so it's probably a bad analogy, but they've been neutral all year on offense. I don't recall a game where Detroit just went off offensively.
And think about it, they have no running game too.
No.
Reggie Bush hasn't been hurt all the time. I think Theo Riddick has been hurt. Joyke Bell's been hurt. So no running game this year. So it's really it's basically been a defense and basically a lot of field control, them controlling on special teams and stuff.
For sure. And so game number 3. I felt this was the easiest game to call all week as far as the 3 games go. I said it before, I'll say it again. Colts are a paper tiger. It got exposed again on this past Sunday night. New England just had their way with them all over the field. I mean, I think New England could put up 50 if they really want.
I think so.
Yeah. They held back. They dropped it down. They dropped it down a gear or two.
Mercy rule. A little bit of a mercy rule.
Yeah, I think so. The defense is atrocious right now. They aren't stopping anybody.
The defense. They have no pass rush.
No pass rush.
They have no pass rush. The linebacking is terrible. The secondary is garbage. But I mean, if you have no pass rush, then your secondary is going to be exposed. So the fact about it is that right now, New England's on a whole nother level. Like I'm not a Patriots person, but the dominance that they are doing now physically.
That O-line's looking ferocious.
Well, you know what though? They were showing plays about what Gronk. Like I mean, everybody talks about how Gronk is in terms of the catching and then all that, but his blocking, man, good grief almighty! I don't know if you saw a few plays. He took one safety, ran him right out of the field.
Yeah, man. Like I don't know what is it with the. I mean, I know old AFC East rivals back in the day, but that's years ago. None of these dudes played when those two teams were in the same division. But there seemed to be a lot of testiness in that game, man.
Well, no, the reason why there's testiness is because it's the Colts and and the Pats, and no matter what, Belichick is not liked over there, and he wants to always stick it to. It's always been against the Manning thing. Remember, basically the Pats own the Colts. Period. Point blank.
Yeah, I know that, but it's a different regime now. It's a different quarterback.
It's still an ass kicking.
I didn't think the animosity would be picked up that much. I was just a little surprised. I get it with New England, Baltimore, New England, Pittsburgh. Of course,
you still want to show them who's boss. You still want to show
Buffalo, the division rivals. But I was really
I think the Pats look at it like this. Everybody, we spoke about the demise. We thought the demise of the Pats were done. We were thinking that, and so I think that the Pats are basically telling everybody, okay, everybody, you're now served on notice. It still comes through us. You got to come play us, and so be it. And because I think with Denver not been playing good for the last 3 weeks.
Yeah, well, they're getting colder outside.
That's right, and
they're as frightful.
That's right, and it's called Peyton Manning is scared like a little whatever he is. Right? Yeah,
let it snow, let it snow, let it snow.
And that's what New England wants. They want you to put, and New England does play pretty good in the snow.
Oh man, yeah. If I'm Denver, I'm not liking this one bit because I mean KC's sitting there going hey, remember
KC's waiting for them, and think what KC is waiting for them.
What if KC gets that division? That means you I go to Kansas City in January or New England potentially. Have fun with that with your travel plans.
You know the funny part about it is if think about this, Denver might be a wild card team if they lose to this game.
That's what I'm saying. They got to play a cold. There's no run because any of the NFC North is gonna be a cold weather team.
That's right.
So everywhere they go, Peyton's got no place to run. Ain't no Miami or San Diego or dome team to keep him comfortable. Let's take the Colts as a matchup. And that's a whole different dynamic that might give him trouble.
Right.
So I'll leave it at that. We're gonna deal with Denver today, but New England looking strong. I always say with luck, love luck, but a little blush. Little mascara. I'll move on
like
that. That's what I'm saying.
I like that one.
No, it's ESPN's boy. We're moving on.
Okay.
So leave it there. So big 3 now for this week. We got most of it happening in the NFC this week. I think where a lot of the action's happening. Let's see here. We do have Detroit, New England. So we'll start with the one game that has an AFC team in it. And since we just finished off with New England, I think this is gonna be destruction again. You know, I think. Yeah, I don't. I mean, yeah, this is in New England, right? If I recall.
Yep, it's in New England.
This is not any pretty.
No, it's not.
This is not
as much as I respect the defense for Detroit.
That's their only shot.
That's their only shot right there, bro.
Yeah.
Because New England, as we just said in the last segment, man, physically just beating up people. They're like physically just beating up people.
And those DBs are playing more and more aggressive each week.
And this is the type of football that you want during, like, now.
Yeah, when it's starting to get colder,
it's
tighter.
Right. It's the portable game.
Yes.
Running game that will come up and just run
defense.
you. Physical defense. Running game. And you still got Brady back.
They take the shots down the field.
Back there doing the shots downfield. But
now, this can all blow up if Gronk gets hurt, you know, because it's called space.
Of course. Oh, for sure.
But I think right now, I mean, Detroit right now, I mean, they've been on the precipice a few weeks where it looks like they're good to be beaten. They've escaped quite a few times.
This ain't one of those games.
You know, a few other games. But I don't think they're escaping this time. I think this is going to be a bloodbath. So
and also, and think about it, Detroit's a dome team.
Exactly.
In the cold.
Exactly.
And we live up here, and we're scared of this cold.
Right.
So can you imagine what Detroit must be feeling right now? Right. And they don't even, they're offensively, if it's Calvin only.
Hey, look, I said there to our friend who's the Vikings fan, yo, you Midwest teams that got dome teams, man. I know in this case a lot of snow happens there, but it doesn't help your team, man.
Mm-hmm.
Trust me, for a team, for a guy who likes a team that played in the dome, Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
All right, when we got out the dome, different story. Different story.
It's a different story.
Yeah,
definitely.
For real. All right, let's move on. Next game, Arizona, Seattle. Oh boy. Woo.
Wow. Because, like, let's put it this way: Seattle is not the indefensible, unstoppable.
We get it done.
They do.
We get it done. We're gonna get it done this Sunday.
I listen. I'm gonna still go with Seattle.
There's no game I'm sure of this week than that.
I'm going with Seattle because I think Marshawn Lynch is still the key.
Yeah.
Because I think that they're trying to phase this dude out and they're pissing him off every week. There's always something coming off every week. No, it looks like I don't know what Seattle's doing. They seem to be pissing off Lynch every single week.
Well, Lynch just had like 4 touchdowns the other day. What's he running about?
And all the nonsense that's going on throughout the week. Like, I mean, he got fined $100,000 for not talking to the media. Then there's a whole little controversy about him not going to the halftime, like going into the locker room and halftime, and he was out in the field. He didn't want to, apparently a whole bunch of other stuff. But Lynch is playing good football.
Lynch, you're a grown ass man. Okay, let's call a spade, man. You get paid to run the ball. Okay, you already don't open your mouth anyhow, so just shut your mouth and just run the ball. That's all.
You get paid big money too. Okay? I mean, so what? But I'll say this though, there is a problem though with the offensive line for Seattle because Unger, your center, is now gone for I think 3 to 4 weeks.
Yep.
So that might pose a little bit of a problem, especially with that defensive line that Arizona brings, and they can stop the run.
Right.
There ain't no joke.
Well,
I still take Seattle in this game, but Arizona will put up a good fight.
Oh yeah, this is gonna be a slugfest. But I think the Seattle's just gonna have enough to get through. They're the champs. I think they're gonna find a way to win this game. I think the defense is gonna play big in this game because you talk about those picks that Stanton's throwing.
Yeah,
you watch and see.
Yeah, if they can limit, if Arians can if Arians can somewhat limit what Stanton does, but that means Ellington has to really Ellington has to carry the mail.
Yeah.
Yes,
the defense is going to play big in this game, man.
Yeah, man.
Okay, I like Seattle. You like Seattle. Okay, last game, and this will probably lead into our next subject. Washington, the Washington team, as you like to refer to them, against the San Francisco 49ers, coming to the Capitol.
Well, both teams have controversies coming into this game.
True.
But
we'll get to that in a second. Hold your powder on that, okay? Because I think you guys already know in this case here what our topic of the week is going to be. Let's just get to the game itself. We'll get that in a second.
No, I was just going to talk about the game. And
okay.
Then
Right.
We talk about that other person.
All right.
Talk about him.
Okay. Who you like?
I'm taking the Niners on this one.
Yeah, Niners. As I said before, I'm sticking with the resiliency factor. I stuck with the Saints. You know, when everyone was kind of saying, "Oh, it's done for them," you know, they have a way of finding a way to grind out games. You know, I like them against the Giants. And I think in this week they're going to get it done again, man. San Francisco, as I thought, would get stronger as the season went on. And right now, they're of the three teams in the NFC West, I mean, I hate to say it, man, but they might be put in the best shape right now.
Well,
they're getting their guys back.
They are getting their guys back.
And probably, I can't recall, but I think their schedule of the bunch, all three of them got to play each other when it's all said and done.
Right, exactly.
Arizona, though, I think has the worst of the three.
They do.
Right. And I think San Francisco's kind of gone through the fire already. I mean, they're playing probably some of their best. It's not pretty.
They can't lose games, though. They just cannot lose games. I think that Arizona's 3 games ahead of them right now, right?
Yeah.
So
they got to play them again.
Yeah, so they can't drop any games.
No, and they got to play Seattle twice.
I think so.
Yeah.
And they still got St. Louis, and St. Louis for all like the record wise,
well this year.
No joke.
No, St. Louis. No, that division is pretty strong, man. That and the NFC North are definitely two best divisions in football.
Yeah,
I like the Niners too. I think Washington right now is just Washington right now is a mess.
Washington's a mess.
Yeah. We'll leave it at that. And that's a good segue to our next topic. The one we've been waiting for. So, topic of the week. We knew this was going to be a topic of the week at some point during the season. Like, we pretty much, when we started the show, I pretty much had the Washington, the Washington team, if you want to call them the Redskins, whatever you call it, the RG3 segment. This conversation was going to happen at some point this season. So, here we are.
Let's just get into it, man.
Let's do it. Okay. You first. Because I got a few things to say about this. You first.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is a case of too much, too soon, and overrated. Okay, look. Robert Griffen, whatever your name is, Sideshow Bob.
Yo, man. He's rookie of the year. Back up a little second. He ain't like that chump or nothing like that. But I'll get that in a second. But
I'm not saying he's a chump.
Well, you act like it.
I'm just saying he's whack. That's what I'm saying. First of all, learn to be a good teammate and be a humble dude. You ain't humble. How old is he? 25?
Something like that.
Something like that. All right? Just like your coach basically said, you need to worry about your damn self. All right? You need to come up and play better. Like, what I've never in my lifetime watching football have ever seen a coach basically tell this dude from a previous press conference, first of all, you need to worry about yourself. Secondly, when you're supposed to be doing a 2-step drop, you only do 1. When you're doing a 3-step drop, you're only doing 3. You're only doing 2. When you're doing a 5-step drop, you're doing 7. Your footwork was bad. Your mechanics were terrible. I had never seen a coach done that to a player, but I think he had to do it because the same stuff that he probably said, he probably spoke to the kid and told the kid, look, you need to come up and shut your mouth and get better in practice. Now, is it all his fault? Not everything is all his fault. I will give him that. Okay, the offensive line is terrible. The organization is a mess. However, this guy, when you come up and compare yourself and say that, look, I need all the other guys, but like you think Peyton Manning, like if you're playing, well, Peyton Manning got to be there. Like you think Peyton Manning guys don't play for him? You don't think Aaron Rodgers guys play for him? God, I understand what you're saying. You don't say them things, man, because you're not even on their class level to even be issuing them kind of comments. All right, I think that the coach basically talked for the rest of the team, and then on top of that, you have Deshaun Jackson, ladies and gentlemen, all right, who basically had to, after the team, a majority of the guys on the locker room did not want Griffen to play. They wanted Colt McCoy. Let's say that again. Colt McCoy to play instead of Robert Griffen III. I'm still not done, Brian. So the thing about it is that right now, this kid, Deshaun Jackson had to basically say, this is the coach's decision, let's go with it. Then what happens after he gets lambasted, after they lose? He basically says, when you ask for SHIT with regular people, you get crappy results on a Twitter? Oh, man, come on.
Are you finished?
I'm done.
Okay, good. So let me go back here. Let me discuss here piece by piece of what you discussed there. Let's start with the epicenter. Robert Griffen III's comments after the game on Sunday.
With a wacky hat.
Well, looking like I'm not going to what is
you're looking like Elmer Fudd. You're like you go hunting.
So if that's the man's personal style, that's his gift.
I could care less about that. I know.
I could care less about that. Okay.
Just play.
That's all. That's all it's about. So let me get my point in this case here. First thing, when I heard the comments after all the big, prognostication, all the big hype about what he said, I listened to the comments and I'm like, really? That was what it was about? I'm like, really? I got what you say immediately. Now, folks, in this case, because it's Robert Griffen III, want to hear what they like to hear. Now, for him,
Brian.
Hold on. You had your second. You had your second for a second. Okay. I'll say this right now, folks. I'm no RG3 fan, but I do like to see. I guess maybe me as being kind of. I always feel like in this case here, I will be the contrarian when I see people got witch hunts out for folks, and I think there is a witch hunt a little bit for Robert Griffen III. I think when people in this case here, and I include my friend here that's on the other side of this camera, in this case of having witch hunts, and when things start going wrong, when in doubt, blame it on RG3. Now,
that's not true.
Hold on. Yes, hold on. You had your moment.
Go ahead.
Now, let me go back in this case to what you had to say. The man in this case said, all he said was, first thing, he said himself that he had to play better. If I do recall, he said that first.
Yes, he did.
Said he didn't say, which you failed to say in this case in your part. He said that in the beginning. Then he said in this case, hey, but we all have to play better, which is true. As a team, they all have to play better. And in this case, he wasn't saying that he's Rodgers or Brady, nothing like that. What he's saying is it's a team effort when it's all said and done.
Right.
But folks jump down the man's throat as if in this case he said some type of blasphemous thing. Now, when these comments happened on Sunday night, I remember watching that thing on Sunday night in this case. I don't remember anyone talking really that big about it Sunday night.
I did.
You might have been saying it.
I said that. I said those are not the right comments to make.
You might have been saying it, but I'm talking from a mainstream standpoint. It's only when you know who decided to send out Twitter comments about it that blow up.
That's not true. Because I caught NFL Network that same night. Deion Sanders basically said, kid. He goes, look, dude, you need to come up and slow your roll. You need to work and go talk to your teammate.
Now I'll deal with that now. No one's discounting, in this case, his mechanics may be bad and stuff like that. Let me tell you something. If you're the coach of a team, you don't go and start calling out your players. I don't care who it is. You don't be doing that type of thing.
That.
No, you don't be doing that.
I get you.
No, hold on. You don't get me. Because in this case here, Jay Gruden all year has played this little political game. He really is a Washington man. Because he's playing a political game all year long. Okay? And for these jokers here that are in the locker room in this case that want Colt McCoy, okay, because he had a fluky half against Dallas. This is the same knucklehead that won Kirk Cousins about 4 weeks ago. How'd that work out for you? How'd that work out for you, Haas? 0-4? Well, about 200 picks? Give me a freaking break, you guys. Okay, that's the reason why you guys play, you're not coaches or GMs, okay? Because you guys wanted Kirk Cousins as the savior only 4 weeks ago. Now Colt McCoy from Cleveland of all places. Now it's coming out Joe Montana.
I know, that makes me laugh. That does make me laugh in itself.
Get the hell without that crap. Okay, let's end it out with that thing. Okay, so stop the nonsense talk out here, okay? For all these jokers in the locker room. Half of them shouldn't probably be in the team anyhow, because let me get the third.
Sucks. Half of the guys shouldn't even be in the squad.
Yes, exactly, because in this case here, when RG3 put in a position, in this case, while his bad mechanics against Minnesota, I remember hearing Bavani Jones talk about this yesterday, because I told you this at the time. Bridgewater outplayed.
He did.
Hold on.
Yeah. Listen, I heard that
thing. In this case here, when your team's up by 3 or whatever the case may be, with less than 3 minutes left to go, you need to win that game. Your defense is there, okay? So don't give me all this stuff about outplaying this and that when your team's leading with less than 3 minutes left to go, and you find a way to let a rookie quarterback.
That's just an overall bad organization.
But that's my point. But the thing is, when the day's done, when the game's over, RG3, this and that, you put like 25 points or 24 points on, and your defense can stop a rookie. Give me a break. And these guys got nerve to talk about Colt McCoy. Give me a break. Spare me with this crap, man. Washington dudes talking a lot of nonsense and junk.
Well, that's been Washington for years. The problem is, though.
Okay.
Look, I just think that again. I'm not saying the kid can't play.
Hold on. I'm not done. Not done.
Go ahead.
Part 3. Okay. So I mentioned this case, the coaches. Let me get back to him for a second. I ain't done with him yet. But play this political game all season long in this case here. And in this case, he's been hiding behind all sorts of excuses in this case. Firstly, he's just like his papa. Yeah, I'm calling him out too. A lot of talk, don't get nothing done. Okay? Because as far as I'm concerned, he just got a team
for Shanahan.
Huh?
What are we talking about? Gruden?
I'm talking about Gruden.
Okay.
I'm talking about Gruden. He ain't proved me nothing.
No, he hasn't.
He no different than his poppy. He ain't proved me nothing. His pop just took the team from Dungy. He ain't do squat since. And all of a sudden he's like John Madden. This dude here in this case here ain't done squat, and he think in this case he's speaking gospel. Who is you?
I think
as far as you're concerned, you're a coordinator. That's all I see you as.
Right.
He has no clue what he's doing. Offense or defense. He even got one side of the ball right. He ain't got none of the three sides right, even the special teams. So don't spare me with this crap about, so you're calling out your quarterback in this case. Go start Colt McCoy next week and see how that works out.
I know, but let me ask you a question though. Do you not think that the comments that he probably made, that he probably spoke to Griffen about it before?
I don't know if he did. I don't know if he did. I don't care. You don't say it.
No, I hear you. Listen,
you don't say it.
I agree with you.
I don't say it.
But I think it was a message being sent to. I think that it was an indirect message to him. But also, I think it was also to the rest of the locker room, even though the locker room is a bunch of idiots because they have a bunch of guys that don't play.
A bunch of idiots, a bunch of knuckleheads. Half of them shouldn't even be in the league as far as I'm concerned. We're sitting on someone's taxi squad. Give me a break.
Let's get back to it, though. You think they're going to pick...
all said and done, when it's all said and done, does Griffen need to work on his game? Yes. Is Griffen at fault for everything that's going on at Washington after watching the Kirk Cousins show and Colt McCoy? No, it's not that. It's a lousy organization with garbage defensive players, a horrible offensive line, a GM and a management team has no clue what they're doing, a coach that in this case has got pretty much from his daddy's name. Yeah, I'm saying so. Okay? And then you're going to say,
by the way, it's his brother.
Brother, who the heck he is, whatever. Brother, whatever, man. Whatever family member, his cousin, his third cousin, whatever the case would be. Give me a break. Okay? Now, true, there's RG3, and then, by the way, you stick the kid out there in this case when he's walking on one leg out there in a playoff game.
But whose fault is that? Whose fault is that, though?
Whose fault?
He shouldn't have been playing. He shouldn't have been playing.
That's my point.
That's a whole Shanahan.
That's management. That's the team from time. That's my point.
But here's the thing, though. I'm starting to see, though, some of this nonsense, the stuff that was going on with him and Shanahan, is starting to resurrect itself with another coach.
What's resurrecting? What's he said about the coach? He ain't said nothing.
No, the difference is he ain't taking the coach on. There's a difference this time. Right. But look, when after Gruden said what he said on Monday, what did he do yesterday?
He apologized to this kid. He's an idiot.
You know who made him apologize? Let's be real. You know who made him apologize?
I know who made him apologize. And you know what? In this case, even though he's an idiot too, in this case he was right. He needed to apologize to his player. You don't do them things, man.
No, because listen. I'm just saying right now. I think that these next few weeks, this is basically to determine if they're going to pick up his contract. I don't think they're going to let him go.
For Griffin's standpoint, because I think in this case from his standpoint, he needed to listen in this case. That part we both agree on. He needed to figure himself out and get back to working, in which he said that. He needs to improve on his own game.
But don't worry about anybody else. Just play.
But here's my point, though. He needs to improve. But you and others here talking as if this dude's like some piece of garbage on the street. You just said it. So come now, you're backing up.
I always said that. Listen, okay. I always listen. No. Hold up. When it comes to Robert Griffen, I always said there was something about him. I didn't feel him. I did say that. I never said that he couldn't play. That's not what I said.
How you respond to in this case? Like if he's some jump.
The gimmicky stuff, I wasn't too thrilled about because I said that read option nonsense doesn't work too tough in the NFL. Sure, he got away with it in the first year. No problem, dynamic, all that kind of stuff. I said, but when you get a little tape on a dude, then we're going to start to find out. But then you just realize, listen, his game is very simply, he doesn't, if he only reads one progression, I'm going to look at how he plays. He only reads on one read.
I agree.
Only.
Right.
But if it's one read, it ain't there, he takes off. It's not the way to play quarterback.
I'm not saying it's not the way to play quarterback, right? But in this case here, sometimes I think you and others kind of diminish the guy's talent. I think that anybody in this case should just roll up here and just be a better team.
Play. How am I diminishing his talent if I acknowledge, I said, the kid, I'm not saying the kid can't play. I just don't know if he's a good quarterback.
I don't think he's a bad quarterback. So I think what I'm saying is that I don't think in this case that the level is as low as you're saying it is. Right now, Robert Griffen Jr., let's say here, he's a free agent. Could he play on 10 of the teams in the NFL?
I think, this is what I'm going to think.
I ask a question.
Okay,
could he play
I think personally what's going to happen. I think that if he goes to another situation where he is not the starter, all right, gets himself maybe, with some good coaching, he will be a starter in the league. I'm not disputing that he cannot start. he can't start for this organization.
That might be the case, but I think they poisoned the well so much that he can.
I think it's gotten too much too soon. I think, secondly, he needs a real coach that'll get in his
face. What's too much too soon?
What do you mean too much too soon? Listen, the guy came up and did his thing the first year. Okay, no problem. But one thing I told you, I think I told you from the jump. Boy, that boy love that red light, boy.
No, well, that's true. I'm not.
Love his red light. And the thing about it is that, listen, that can kind of wear on you, just like thinking.
I agree.
You know what I mean? I was like, okay, I hope this guy's working as hard as he's on TV, as much. Right. Get your money, do what you need to do. Nothing wrong with that. But I would say, listen, when it comes back to it, it's your performance on the field. Now, obviously, he gets hurt, right? Now, I think that because, again, this might be the whole, he's from a small city, he was revered as God in a certain particular state, but then and all that kind of stuff. He comes to Washington, they think he's the face of the franchise, he's all this, he's all that. The owner loves him, he's all this and all that, but then the injuries start to happen. Some stuff you can't control. That part I understand. But then you start realizing, though, the dude, I just always felt there was something hokey about him. That was the thing. I said, I don't see this guy, like, I don't see the guys rally for this dude. Remember I told you, I said,
I agree with you. Yeah, you did say
so. The guys don't even, his own teammates don't even lift him up.
No, I agree. There is an issue he has with personality issue he needs to deal with. That there is for sure.
Type of things I see is like, look, if I see my quarterback getting smoked like that, dude, and nobody's picking him up.
But here's my thing. This is the point that I think I'm getting at. The crux of my issue is that we both agree in this case he has personality traits and personality flaws he needs to deal with when it comes to leadership and stuff like that. That's
he doesn't have to be everybody's friend.
Hold on.
I'm not saying
here's the point, though. When you start going downhill and you start now saying using that as a scapegoat for what your issue is, that's where in this case it rubs me the wrong way. So when I see these dudes yapping in the locker room to try to avoid what they're not doing,
right?
So they can use him as a scapegoat and the coach to some extent, then it's like, okay, now we're piling on now. Now we're piling on. Because as someone said, I think it was the same Levitar show, ain't no one saying nothing about Jake Locker. They had him for 2 years like a stiff down there.
Oh no, he's gone though. Don't worry about him.
What I'm saying, but people just let that play out the way it's supposed to play out.
Well, there's Tennessee and then there's Washington.
I'm not saying that, but I agree with that. But what I'm saying is, around the league, players just have a chance to play out their thing. When I see what's going on here, he's still their best chance to win. Because
they ain't letting him go. Because first of all, if they let him go, they still he's still gonna get paid. You know what I mean? So but the fact about it is that I think you're gonna see. I hope for his sake, it doesn't turn out like the Christian Ponder nonsense. You know what I mean? Where, remember how Ponder was like, he got in there and he was the wrong quarterback, but they still had to keep him around until, and he's still there now. And then I wouldn't want to see that for Christian. I think he's too dynamic of a player. As a football player, I think he's too dynamic for him to be just a regular dude. However, I'd hope that, he does what he needs to do, but it's a little bit humbling to see what's going on because right now, it is a tough watch, man. It's a tough watch.
It is a tough watch, and I think in this case here, yeah, he could be easily public enemy number one. It's easy to pile on and say, that's the easy out. Oh, it's RG3's fault. Oh, it's RG3's fault. Oh, I dropped my ice cream. It's RG3's fault. Look, at some point, folks got to take their own responsibility. And when it's all said and done,
like a Gino Torretta. This is feeling to me. This feels like almost like a Gino Torretta name in the past. A Gino Torretta thing. That's what it feels like to me. Because remember how Gino Torretta was highly hyped, everything, he's going to be the next big thing and everything of the sort. But then he came in the league and...
See, this is what I'm talking about. I would never compare the two of them. Never.
It's almost similar.
Torretta wish he could hold RG3's jockstrap. Please.
Wasn't Gino Torretta a Heisman winner as well?
Yeah. What did he do in the NFL?
Right. That's okay.
RG3 done something already.
One season so far,
but still, Gino Torretta did nothing. That's my point. People act as if in this case he just started last year in this case. The dude still was rookie year. This dude still won the division with the same thing. The dude got the team in the playoffs. The first winning season in like a decade. If Gino Torretta did that, please show it to me on Wikipedia. I'd love to see it. That's the part I'm talking about in this case here. He's done something. I'm not saying he's done a lot. He's only been in the league 3 years. But they erase what he did the first year and just think that we just started when he started walking on one leg last year as, he's been this player from time? No, he hasn't been this player from time. Obviously, something had clicked. So what happened from then to now? Injuries is one thing, but I don't think it's the only thing. Two, what you said. I think a bit of it's got to his head. Look, the magazines and the lights too much. That's two. Maybe not working as hard. 3, I think the coaching's been an issue because that read option in this case, the irony of what you said is they went away from it. They didn't even do it afterwards. What was being effective for them?
Right.
They don't even do that anymore. So maybe that's one of the issues too. Maybe due to the injury, maybe in this case they wanted to evolve the offense, whatever the case may be, but they're not playing to their players' strength.
Right,
So,
and that's a sucky part.
And that's all my point is.
It is a sucky part. I'm not saying that Gruden doesn't know what he's doing because
he doesn't know what he's doing. I'll say it.
I think he's probably a pretty decent offensive coordinator, but he might not be head coach. Just like it's almost
pure nepotism. I'll say it.
Of course, they're not. Come on, let's be real. We also know how that works a little bit. But my thing is, I think he's good. Firstly, I think he might get canned.
He should get canned
because Schneider is one of the. He's one of the. He has a trigger finger like I've never seen an owner have. Yeah. He fires coaches in a year, 6 months.
Well, let me ask you this: has this team gotten better or has it regressed?
Oh man, it's regressed.
Well, that's pretty sad if it's regressed from Shanahan.
But here's the thing, though: the defensive coordinator is still Hazlitt, who I still don't understand how he still has a job in the league.
Exactly.
You know what I mean, the front office, they're drafting bad players, and it's been like that for years.
Right, and that's the part I'm saying. Everyone wants to pile on and use RG3 as the shield for their own inability to get something done.
Well, but it was the owner's pick. No, this was the owner. You can tell this was the owner's pick.
No, we know the owner loves RG3.
Because here's the thing: you gave a boatload to the St. Louis. You gave a boatload to that other team, and they got they took what they took. And right now,
that deal still looks better for Washington.
Say again?
That deal still looks better for Washington. What's St. Louis done?
What? They're both bad organizations. I don't even know.
Right. So all these picks, St. Louis, I mean, their defense is great, and they got some of the picks for defense, but until they get a quarterback, what they doing?
Well, we'll see. Yeah, because I mean, the quarterback issue. That's
the hope that Washington has. They can get him right. You can turn that thing around real quick because that division's up for grabs next year.
True.
And right. So that's my point. Because right now your man might be on the decline, or my man, because you support Eli sometimes when it depends on the situation. So
like throwing 5 picks in a game, and it was really like
he might be coming down the end of his career as far as a peak player. So when you look at that division, they just need to get him right, get him a proper coach and stuff like that. He need to do some growth, and they could be back in there to get some proper people, to get some defensive players, some offensive linemen and stuff like that. And good Lord, give the guy a chance to throw a ball, man. My goodness, that's all my point is with that, man. I gotta say, Griffin doesn't have his faults. He got to learn, but man, when I see the media and folks just jumping on a guy, the moment it rains, it's his fault. That's where Tull got to turn the other side. It's like, whoa, I got to look at things a little differently. Anyhow,
I know you like RG guys. So
no, I don't like RG3. I don't like when dudes getting beat up, I think, unfairly in this case. That's what I like.
That's before I go and I just said, look, you know what? If you just play, if you let your play do your talking, true, it sucks. It does suck because you know what? The scrutiny that comes with it. The fact that you got traded for a bunch of stuff for the organization, but the thing about it is, I think that you will still, as a quarterback, you need to come up and also understand. You gotta, there's certain things that you gotta understand coming with the position. You gotta play, but you also gotta come up and know. Sometimes there's certain things you might want to say. You gotta learn to keep your mouth shut.
Well, fair enough. We'll leave it at that, man. All right, fantasy time, man. So, Yves, who you have for us tonight?
Well, first one I got. Surprising one from the Cleveland Browns. Mm-hmm. I have Mr. Isaiah Crowell. Mm-hmm. Now, you're probably saying, why would I say that? Well, because right now the Browns are, they're not saying that they're the beasts of the AFC. However, Crowell has probably been their best consistent running back, and they let go a guy that they just picked up and gave a big contract to this year. They cut him.
I don't know, man. Cleveland's doing this thing with duct tape, man.
So, but I think Crowell is going to do very good because if they're facing Atlanta, and Atlanta can't stop anybody worth a run. This kid can run. He's a good natural runner. And I think he's going to get himself some big yards and a couple TDs against Atlanta's pathetic defense.
Just on a side note, can we tell every fantasy player in this case, whoever they have playing against the NFC South team, just take their top offensive player?
Just take that person.
Okay. Number 2, we got Mike Evans.
Yeah, man. Mike Evans, boy. I guess
Texas A&M guy that we blown up.
Let me tell you something. I guess it wasn't all Johnny Manziel, huh? This kid has been money.
Size is nice, man.
The last 4 weeks, last month. This kid's tearing up, man. They said that he's been doing some stuff since, like, he's doing stuff as a rookie that nobody's done since 1983. So the kid got 2 TDs, 209 yards last week. All right. Now he's facing the Chicago Bears defense in Chicago. I know it's in Chicago.
Yeah, well, Chicago played that well. Chicago, so
Chicago's defense ain't that hot. That secondary ain't that hot.
Real.
As much as I'm not a Josh McCown guy, but Josh McCown can at least get this kid the ball. All right. So that's gonna be you're gonna see a big game out of him. I predict 2 TDs out of him, about 150 yards or so.
Okay, and the last one is Mr. Brady, man.
Oh boy.
Playing the hot hand.
Oh boy. Where do we start? I think I got him for 28 for 35 for 317, but I got 4 TDs. That's where I think it is because it's cold. Brady loves to play in that cold weather stuff. Detroit, unless the defensive line really coming after Brady, I think the running game's gonna take him, and then he's just gonna rip him apart just by doing play action passing and stuff and using Gronk down the field.
Well, okay, there you have it, man. That's the Fantasy Insider for today. So we have here Mike Evans, Tom Brady, and Isaiah Crowell from Cleveland. All right, where can the good folks find you, Yves?
You can find me at Y Charlem.
All right, you can find me at Beyond Locker Room, short for RM. As usual, subscribe above, comments below, man.
Free AP.
Peace.